Hello again, everybody. It's Plowboy's Ghost channel. Today, wearing a powder horn, powder measure, got a homemade loading block. Must mean black powder day, or any day that ends in Y is black powder day to me. Today, I'll show you a gun that I've had for a year, a rifle that I've had for a year, and I haven't shot this since last November, so you can pretty much guess how this is going to go with accuracy. They don't call them flinch locks for nothing. This is a Pedersoli Blue Ridge 54 caliber flintlock, which is, I reckon it's the same thing as the Frontier, except for Cabela's carries the Blue Ridge. Like I said, this one's in 54 caliber. I took this deer hunting last year for our little special first 5 day of gun season, which is muzzleloader season here in Alabama, and I missed 2 deer within the first 3 days with this rifle. Well, I blame that on me for not shooting it more, being more familiar with it. But I had changed the rear sight. This came with a full buckhorn rear sight that I couldn't, for some reason I couldn't use it. I couldn't hit with it. Either the height was wrong, or my head was wrong, or something just wasn't working. So I went over here to the local gunsmith shop, and he dug up just a ramp style sight like that right there. I put it on there, and it gave me a little bit longer eye relief, length of sight radius, which don't hurt accuracy either, but for some reason I can use this a whole lot better. So I'm hoping to have a little more luck with it this season, but I need to shoot it first before we can determine that. Well, I have started casting from a Lee mold some 530 round balls out of dead soft lead. That's the first time I've ever cast round balls. I'm using pocket drill. I was using some politicking that was 16, about 16 thousandths thick, and you could break a ramrod trying to get it down the bore with a 530 ball in this right here. It was just pathetic. I'm talking about first and second loading. It was still way too tight. So now I've got this pocket drill, and it's between 10 and 11 thousandths. It may be a little too thin. Probably needed 12 or 13, but I've got 10 and 16, so we're going to try 10 now. I know it'll load easier because I've just eased it in the end of the muzzle with patch material around it and then pulled it right back out. If the accuracy's there, I'm going to rejoice, because I don't like the idea of having to beat something down the muzzle or down the bore with a wooden ramrod, which, by the way, I have already cracked mine, but I've got it taped together right here. It cracked in the center for just a little distance last November, and I'll just be careful with it. And that was with having the tight 530 ball and the 16 thousandths politicking, so I hope not to have that much trouble this time. So I'm going to load it up, if I can remember how after all this time, and put a few rounds through it. This is a Track of the Wolf powder horn. I didn't give very much for it, but it works just fine. I think this was less than $20 powder horn, or about a $20 powder horn. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Seals up good and tight. I made my own powder measure from an antler of a deer I'd killed several years back. I got it at 85 grains, and I'm using 3F GoX, like I do in pretty much all my black powder stuff, whether it's pistol or long gun, and that's just a little much. Level it off. Remember to put the cork back in the horn. That would suck to pour out a half a pound of powder while I'm sitting here talking and not realize it. Alright. Make sure it's all in there. First time this gun's been loaded since second or third week of last November, and this is of course September, so I've waited long enough. I've got a little bit of SPG lube smeared around on this patch material. It's a little expensive, I guess, for a patch lube, but SPG works good. That almost loads too easy. We're going to find out here in a few minutes if it works. Use a little 3F in the pan too. And of course that's way too much. You just have to bear with me. It's been a while since I loaded this gun, and you should know from my videos, if you've watched them before, I don't do any preparation. I barely even think about what I'm doing before I do it, sometimes not even while I'm doing it, so that's why you get bloopers. Alright, put a round through it and see if I can hit anything. That is a beer box turned inside out at 25, 26 yards. Huh. You can see it or not, but my patch is out there smoking in the yard. For all my flinching, that's actually not too far off the bullseye, the top bullseye. I give it just a second while I yap, make sure there ain't no embers in it. I don't think there will be though. Never had that issue, but you know how my luck goes. If something can go wrong, it'll go wrong. And you know, I realize that I flinched a lot with that shot. Is anybody else going to have to ask Santa Claus for black powder this year? I'm down to 3 pounds. My wife thinks that's a lot. She don't understand, does she? I'm going to load it off a block this time. At least I think I can. Didn't have no trouble ramming that second one home. You know, I think I had this better coordinated back last deer season. I'm just out of practice, ain't I? You know, too, and this was the first this was the first one I've ever had that had double set trigger, or had a set trigger and then a regular trigger. And both times last year when I went to shoot at the 2 deer that I missed with it, both times I just threw the gun up, put my finger on the front trigger and went to pulling, and I don't know what it takes to break that, but that sucker wasn't going nowhere. I'm like, oh yeah. Set trigger and then go back to it, and then I still miss. That's the way my luck goes. I don't know where that went. Probably into the next county. Yep, I still hear it going. Smoke out of the barrel. Yeah, like I said, give it just a couple of seconds to make sure there ain't no embers. Has that ever really happened to anybody with a rifle? I know it has with a cannon, but I don't know about a rifle. Yeah, I gotta work this out better, don't I? This is where a rehearsal would come in handy, wouldn't it? Once again, off a loading block. Get me another round rod. Lord, y'all, if you've seen how much powder I just poured on that, you'd really think I was an amateur. And you'd be right. Can't afford to spill powder. Like I said, I'm just using the regular old 3F for the pan. It seems to work fine. If I have problems with this gun, it sure ain't the powder that's in the pan. More like the loose nut that's connecting the trigger in the shoulder stock. And that was a major flinch. So, I've got more work to do. I appreciate y'all watching. Talk to you later.